Hey everyone. I just wanted to make this really quick video for you guys. It's been a crazy week and I've been meaning to make this video. It's something really important that I feel like everyone should know. I've noticed that everyone's trying to save the planet. Everyone's trying to be the hero. Everyone's trying to save everyone. And I think that that's what's going on. I think that's why we can't really move on. If no one knows this yet, the world brought you here for a reason. You know, you're not just you because you said you are. You're here for a reason because someone bought you here, because you bought yourself back or whatever the case may be. But believe me, you weren't just born into a world that, that already had a life waiting for you. You're supposed to make the life for yourself. What happens is that as kids, just as, the beginning years of our lives are being shaped into who they think we should become. Again, most parents do this unintentionally, and most teachers do this unintentionally. Mostly everyone does this unintentionally, but again, you can be sincerely wrong with your intentions and stuff. I always say, it's around the age of like 4 or 3 where it seems like they start to shut kids off. It's like, oh, it's time to go to school. It's time to become responsible. It's not time to play anymore. When really, that is like, that is the point of your life where you're trying to figure out who you're going to become for the rest of your life. And most people get, excuse me, most people get shunned at that point of their life. Um, and oddly enough, I've noticed that one of the other things that happens during this age is that we find our heroes, we find the people we look up to. Me as a kid, I always looked up to like cartoon characters and stuff. Oddly enough, any Disney Channel movies. I always liked Simba. I liked Hercules and Tarzan, Mulan, stuff like that. I always liked the people who just were themselves, even though their lives obviously weren't the most perfectest, but they were in their true authenticity. In the end, they ended up winning. They ended up, fighting the evil, whatever you want to call it. What I've noticed about these movies is they're really just showing a reflection of ourselves. They're showing us who we can become if we just let go and we're ourselves. So even again, if you look up to Jesus Christ, if you look up to Buddha, all these big people, Martin Luther King, Mohammed Gandhi, all these people have done really big things in the world. They were just trying to bring change, peace into the world. This seems to be what everyone really wants for the world. This seems like this is what we're shifting to. We're shifting to a love kind of paradigm. We're shifting into, what the world used to be. It used to be peace and love and just live your life, but now it's all about bills and money, mostly money also. um, and again, the only reason why it's not working is because you are still not in your true authenticity. Once everyone realizes who they are and why they're here, everything will kind of fit right back into place because everyone's over here getting a job as a police officer or as a doctor or as, all these other things that we've been conditioned to think that this is the way to become successful in life when really this might have nothing to do with what our true purpose is. Our voices as one is what shapes the future. Us as a world, everything we do and everything we say, everything that we think is what's shaping the future. So currently, we're still killing animals, we're still chopping down trees, we're still killing each other, we're still hurting others. We're still doing a lot of things that we're in war. There's just a lot of things that we need to fix right now. And love is the answer. Love yourself first, and then the world will come right after. Um, but this is why it's important to find your voice at this point, to find who you really are, because without you knowing who you really are, you're not going to be attracting the right people. Again, if you're at a point right now in your life where you're trying to be the successful businessman or woman, you're trying to be this person that you think you should be, you're not your true authenticity. So therefore, you're going to be attracting the wrong people. All these business people and all these people who are all about the money, that's who's going to be coming towards you. If you switch to a love, to a more, to a more you, which the real you is full of love, I'll tell you that. That's what we were made out of. That's what it began with. That's what it's all about. It's all about love. So when you find your true authenticity, what you're looking for is pretty much the love in you, the person that loves unconditionally and, doesn't get mad at anything. They just react with love. That's, again, that's your true authenticity. Um, I like to remind everyone that everything you've ever learned in life, everything that your parents have ever taught you, your teachers and the world, the government, your friends, everything that you've learned, you can unlearn. The only reason we are what we are today is because this is what we've been taught and this is all we know. But there is an infinite amount of different choices and routes and thoughts and just ways that we can live our life besides what we're doing right now. You just have to go and look for them. But again, if you're under the impression that if you don't get your way, you fight back, you can unlearn that. Two wrongs don't make a right. If someone's ever bothering you or coming at you with negativity, all you do is turn away. You don't have to worry about karma, or being the karma, because at that point you're just bringing yourself bad karma. You let karma take care of that person and you go back and you do what you do best, and that's be yourself and love everyone. Um, I wrote some things down here because it was a quick thought that we were talking about. So what do we usually fight about? Because my thing in life is fuck authority. You don't need someone telling you what to do. There's been a lot of cases where babies are born without parents or without any sort of authority, and they are one of the most sharpest humans in the world because they have grown teaching themselves just with what they've experienced. So you don't need a police officer to tell you not to run the stoplight. You know that when you get to the stoplight, you look both ways and make sure there's no one coming. Just because you ran the stop sign, or, and there was no one being hurt, doesn't mean you deserve a $200 ticket. That's just an asshole trying to get money off of you. No one really needs authority. You don't need your mom to tell you to wipe your ass. You don't need the teacher to tell you to learn, to fill your mind with knowledge. Again, we've been taught very useful things throughout our life. But one thing we don't need, especially as of now in the place that the world is in, we don't need any sort of authority but our own. You're the only one who should be making the decisions for yourself. You're the only one you should be talking to as far as getting advice and stuff. No one has advice like you do. You can be asking a homeless man, what kind of belt you think you should buy next, and that's pretty useless information. He won't know what to tell you. Again, you the answers that you were looking for your problems are only within yourself. If you start asking other people, they may or may have not been in the same situation that you are. Things always vary. You never look for the answers to your problems outside of you. You look them inside of you. And of course, you never judge yourself for any of them either. Back to what I was saying, I'm sorry. What we usually fight over and the whole fuck authority thing. So let's just pretend that there are no police officers in this world. Let's just pretend that everyone in the world had the understanding that you don't fight, you respect, and you love, and you listen, and you're mindful. Let's just pretend everyone knew this concept. Again, what do we normally fight over? Money and religion and politics and all this other extra shit. Again, mostly the things that authority have like kind of rained down on us. So again, let's pretend everyone understood this concept and everyone stopped using money, the paper money, and we all started bartering and trading, and we all gave up all our guns and all the weapons because none of these are necessary. People have came about, you know, inventing weapons and stuff as far as it's for self-defense. But again, I've said this in a video before. If you get, let's use a pedophile as an example. Um, when pedophiles are, when we find out that a man has just raped or tortured or hurt, killed, whatever, a little girl, it's funny because in the news, everyone advertises it, like, oh, everyone look at this guy, shame him, fuck him, he's going to jail 70 years, he killed this little girl, and no, 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 no. It's funny because nothing has been fixed. There's been no problem that's been fixed. We've come up with this huge scenario where, oh my God, a man just hurt a little girl, but instead we throw him down and we start kicking him and we don't help him. That's still another one of our brothers and sisters, guys. And not only that, but no one ever asked him what happened. Why did you do that? A lot of the times these are grown men who've gone their entire life knowing that they have this weird attraction towards little kids, and they've just held it all in. These desires, these wants, they've held it all in. And you know what? Not everyone is as smart as you and I, where they feel like they can go get professional help. They fear they'll be judged, because they know they know what they want is wrong. Again, this is a psychological problem that forms in childhood. Again, normally when we get shunned, this is where everything begins. So instead of kicking him down and throwing him in jail and calling him the worst man in America, what we could have done was said, "Hey, so let's sit down and talk to this guy and see what happens." So what happened? Oh, well, and he'll share his story. And believe me, there'll be other people surfacing up saying, "God damn it, I have the same problem." And then you say, again, instead of the media giving out the solution, they just leave you in fear, like, "Oh, lock your doors, save your kids," and instead of again saying like, "Everyone, you heard it here first. This is what's going on in the world. We're not raising our children right because they're growing up having these weird fantasies, whatever." Again, we have pointed out the problem, and we have made it the problem seem just as big as what we imagine it to be, but no solution. And again, I feel like that's a really big part of what's wrong with our world. We look at problems and we find no solution to them. We end up talking about them for days, for hours, for whatever. When really there's a solution to everything. You just have to give it time and have a lot of love. Again, like I still find it crazy when we talk about the rapists and the pedophiles and stuff. Again, not to say that they're wonderful people. I've never met a rapist or a pedophile. I've just seen a deeper insight of the way the world works, and there are still pedophiles and rapists around to this day, and yet there is still nothing being done about it except throwing them in jail, you know. And then again, it's like being alone in a cell, like the way we have chosen punishment for, when we let those people out, most people come out, believing in God with a strong mind, like they've learned their lesson. Some people don't, that doesn't happen. We have to treat everyone differently. We treat all the criminals the same when, again, no one's really a criminal, they've just ended up that way because that's the way that they were taught. So, let's see. So the world, blah blah blah. I don't know. The reason I made this video again is because not everyone is in their true authenticity, and that's what we really need. Like, you have something inside of you that no one in this world has, like there's only one you. You may find people who look like you or who have very similar, thoughts as you, stuff like that. But no one has been in your shoes. No one has lived your life. No one has experienced what you've experienced or seen what you've seen, heard what you've heard. That's only you. So everything that you carry with you throughout your whole life, that's what starts shaping you. Most people start carrying around their sadness and their depression and their regrets and stuff when really you should be carrying around what makes you so unique. Um, and you will find that in yourself. You just have to find your voice. It's like every time you find yourself doing something that, it's like, what the fuck am I doing? You should find the voice in your head that says that, like, what are you doing? Or what the fuck is this? That's you. That's the one that's like, that's trying to wake you up, the one that's trying to put you back where you belong. You'll know where you belong if you have completely forgotten the purpose of why you were even there to begin with, because you're just there doing it and loving it every single second. Um, Let me see what else I wrote here. Oh, we were talking earlier about violence and stuff, why we normally fight. I think the beginning of why there was violence to begin with is because there was unfairity in the world. I always like to point this out to people. There's a group of people, there's a family, they're called the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. You guys can look them up. These are the most wealthiest family in the world. They're not mentioned next to Bill Gates or Oprah or anything like this because their money compared to theirs is like, really, you can't even imagine it. 17 homes, apocalypse shelter, all the best medicine, all that, they are the ones who are ruling the world, you can say. These are the banks. So these people, again, they live completely different from you and I, and let alone from people in, let's say, who are overseas, people who are living in impoverished countries. And you wonder if there is someone controlling this world just because they have a hold of money, it suddenly makes it okay for them to have all these homes and all this food and all this wealth, and then for some people to have no clothes, no shoes, no shelter, no food. Again, I see something very unfair with that. And again, I'm no one to be going to the Rockefeller and Rothschild's home and bombing them for doing such a thing, because again, we are the only ones letting them have that power. If everyone can wake everyone up, today, just tap them on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, you know that 6 banks own the whole world?" And then like everyone's gonna look at you all crazy and stuff. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. It's like, yeah, there is. Just stop using the money. The only places that accept money are like the big companies. Again, the McDonald's and Walmart, Office Depot, Advance Auto Parts. All these places are owned. These are major companies that are owned by these 6 banks, worldwide. So if you buy, or no, I'm sorry. See, I always say that if we ever switch our currency, it would be to barter and trade. No more money. Money comes from trees. Why are we killing the trees just to make money and then give it a value that really is imaginary? A dollar doesn't really cost a dollar. A dollar doesn't exist. It's just a piece of paper. And then everything else, we place value on them based on, the currency. But if we were just to stop using that, and again, it's like everyone learns to grow their own crops. The people who know how to build a car, who know how to build a plane, who know how to do open heart surgery, whatever, you don't charge people for this. You do it because you know how to, and because you're trying to help everyone. Again, if everyone had a lot of love in their heart to begin with and love for themselves, they'd understand, hey, if I'm a doctor, I'm here to help people. So why am I charging people $30,000 to help them? It's called greed. Like that's called unfairity, pretty much. Because everyone can learn everything. Like I can teach anybody how to cook. I can teach anybody how to take care of themselves. A doctor, can teach someone how to amputate an arm, whatever it may be. Everything can be taught, but it's not to get greedy with it. Nothing belongs to us. Again, these doctors like to pretend that these offices and everything, but it's not really yours. When you pass away, you don't take any of it with you. Which means what? It's just for now. So for now, make the best of it. If anyone still believes in a heaven and a hell, believe me, doing good will bring you to heaven. But if you look deeper at what you do in an everyday life, especially for, our doctors, lawyers, military, um, again, even the people working at Walmart, it's like you don't have to be there. The company you work for is not the best. So it's like you go work for someone else. They don't need you. It's all right. Not gonna get into a rant about Walmart, but if everyone wants to look into Walmart, evilness everywhere, and Walmart owns a lot of other companies, and it's nice. So pretty much what we're gonna wrap this up with, because I mean, this video was all over the place, and I still plan on posting it, just because hopefully it did teach you guys something. Um, I guess what I'm trying to say here is find your voice, find who you are, find what you are able to give to people, and then do just that. Believe me, the universe will then send you people to help you with everything you need, but first, help yourself. First, do everything you can in your power to make sure that you're okay, to make sure that you're doing everything, you know, that you want, that your heart, tells you to do and stuff. And just look deeper within. Again, if you're hungry as hell and your heart's telling you to go get a chicken sandwich, just look a little deeper. I don't think your heart really wants the chicken sandwich. It just wants something very nutritious to eat. Alright, so I'm going to stop this video now, and I hope everyone has had a very, very good week and a very good day, and peace and love.